Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Right now at 10, controversy in one Connecticut town after a secretly recorded video appears to show an assistant principal saying he wouldn't hire conservatives or Catholics.
Plus, the FDA clears new COVID-19 boosters updated for Omicron and its subvariants. We'll take a look at how Connecticut's getting ready to roll out the new shots.
Caught on camera tonight, a teen in a stolen car rams into a police cruiser. Hear what police are saying about the crash that injured the officer inside. But first on Fox 61, controversy in Greenwich tonight after a secretly recorded video appears to show an assistant principal discussing hiring practices at an elementary school. Good evening, I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Thanks for joining us. That assistant principal reportedly said he won't hire conservative or Catholic candidates.
Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live in Greenwich tonight to tell us about this video and how people are now responding to it. Gabby?
Ben, Sarah, the person at the center of this video is the assistant principal here at the Coscob Elementary School. Greenwich's first selectman telling me that that man has been placed on administrative leave, and this video is getting reaction from local leaders all across Connecticut. A Greenwich assistant principal under fire after a video appears to show him discussing discriminatory hiring practices at his job at Coscob Elementary School.
So then what do you do with the Catholics if you find out someone is Catholic?
Jeremy Boland is at the center of the undercover video released by Project Veritas, a nonprofit enterprise known for controversial undercover reporting through hidden cameras. The 12-minute video appears to show Boland discussing not wanting to hire candidates who are conservative, Catholic, or of a certain age.
I'm hoping the more progressive teachers are actually more savvy about delivering a democratic message.
Greenwich's first selectman says he's demanding answers.
I've called for an independent investigation separate from the Board of Education. I want to see if this is pervasive. If it is, how wide and how deep is it?
A group gathered outside of the elementary school Wednesday evening to denounce what was said in the video, including Republican Senate candidate Leora Levy, who's from Greenwich.
I believe that we are one people, and what they are doing in trying to divide Americans, divide our children.
Senator Richard Blumenthal and Governor Ned Lamont, both also from Greenwich, released statements also condemning what they saw. In a tweet, Blumenthal said in part, "Religious discrimination is inexcusable and illegal. Of course I support a full investigation." Lamont said in part, "Discrimination of any kind has no place in Connecticut, especially in our public schools. This is not aligned with our Connecticut values." Fox 61 has not confirmed the legitimacy of the video or the circumstances under which it was filmed or edited. Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe says his organization stands by the way in which the reporting was done.
It took place in Connecticut, in a public area, and he knew he was speaking to someone, he knew he was being interviewed, and he shared that with our journalist. He may not have known he was being recorded, but he knew he was being talked to.
We have reached out to Greenwich Public Schools for a comment, but have not heard back yet. Governor Ned Lamont said that the State Board of Education is aware of this incident. Live in Greenwich, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. And tonight we're also hearing from Catholic leaders in Connecticut about these controversial remarks.
The Archdiocese of Hartford put out a video statement from the executive director of the state's Catholic Public Affairs Conference. In that video, he denounced the comments, calling them disturbing and a serious breach of the public's trust.
The comments regarding Catholics, as well as indoctrination techniques by the Coscob Elementary School assistant principal, are vile, and they do a profound disservice to the many Catholic teachers in public schools, both in Greenwich and across the state.
You can expect more from Fox 61 on this story. Download the free Fox 61 News app or head to fox61.com to learn more.
Want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank tonight for a first check of the forecast. Hi there, Rach.
Hi, it's been a couple of weeks since we've really had a break in the humidity, so this is going to feel really different here, not only moving through tonight, but the next several days with not only less humid conditions, but comfy and even refreshing weather on the way, especially heading into tomorrow night. Wait until you see some of the numbers. But right now we're seeing temperatures that are in the 60s for most of the state, at least inland. It's still warmer along the Connecticut shoreline. But as we head through the overnight hours, we'll see overnight lows dipping back into the low to mid 60s as we head towards daybreak. So already right out of the gate tomorrow morning, a lot more comfortable at the bus stop. We know it's been a struggle for some of the educators and kids at school, and these classrooms have been heating up day after day. A little bit of a break from that tomorrow. By afternoon, we'll see temperatures in the mid 70s at lunchtime and high temperatures between 75 to 80 as we head through the afternoon. So not only cooler high temperatures, but also those less humid conditions in place, and then those downright refreshing conditions for tomorrow night around this time. We'll take a look at some of the numbers and take a sneak peek ahead at your Labor Day holiday weekend coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, tonight, the U.S. is very close to begin giving out COVID-19 vaccines specifically targeting newer variants. The FDA cleared the updated booster shots, which is said to have a better protection against Omicron and its subvariants. Fox 61's Alicia Machado joins us live in Hartford tonight with how Connecticut's preparing for these updated booster shots. Alicia.
Good evening, Sarah. Connecticut's Department of Public Health tells me if these boosters get final approval from the CDC, they'll be shipped out to providers and available for use as early as just after Labor Day. Now, most people we spoke with say they'll be in line to get a booster. A new boost in the fight against COVID-19.
I am for it because I get boosted every time.
The FDA authorizing an updated booster dose that is set to better protect against the Omicron subvariants, BA4 and BA5.
It's a great thing to have one more tool in the fight against COVID, because even though I think a lot of the folks in Connecticut want to think that COVID is done, unfortunately, it's not done with us.
With final approval, people ages 18 and older would be eligible for Moderna's single booster dose, and those 12 and older can get the Pfizer booster as long as it's been 2 months since completion of the primary vaccine or their last booster shot. People we spoke with are on board.
I think it's a great idea, and I think everyone should get it.
I've been waiting for it. I actually had COVID in May. As soon as it's available, I will be getting it.
The FDA says Omicron subvariants are causing the most recent cases of COVID-19 in the United States, and those subvariants are expected to continue circulating in the fall and winter.
Usually what we see is in the summer, spring months, COVID goes down, and this has not been the case, which tells you about the rate of contagion for the Omicron variants. As we head into fall and then winter, when it gets colder outside and we all tend to congregate inside, and that's usually when we've seen the spikes in rates, especially near Thanksgiving.
Anything that helps us get through this winter.
I think that we all need to take advantage of the boosters when we can, because we went through so much for 2 years, and we don't want to go backwards and go back into that again. I don't want to be locked in my house again.
Now, these updated boosters still need approval from the CDC before they can be administered. That agency's advisory committee is expected to meet tomorrow. We're live in Hartford tonight. Alicia Machado, Fox 61 News.
Thanks, Alicia. The CDC says COVID-19 caused life expectancy to drop in the U.S. in 2021. Early data puts the average lifespan at 76 years old. That's nearly a whole year less than it was in 2020. COVID deaths made up nearly half the decline. It was associated with more than 460,000 deaths last year. The good news, though, is that the CDC says mortality has gone down a bit this year, and we could see that number rebound. Connecticut leaders are working to stop gun violence with a new group dedicated to the cause. Today was the first meeting for the state's new Commission on Community Gun Violence Intervention and Prevention. It's dedicated to advising the Department of Public Health on how to stop gun violence. The state's putting $2.9 million towards the cause with the hope of awarding grants to community-based violence intervention programs.
Well, also tonight at 10, as the kids head back to class, so are those assigned to protect children across Connecticut. Following the elementary school shooting in Uvalde, Texas in May, many districts in our state have approved hiring armed guards on their campuses. Fox 61's Tony Black live in the newsroom tonight with more as one district continues its discussion on resource officers and what they should and shouldn't be able to do in schools. Tony?
Yeah, Ben, the Hamden Board of Education is trying to define what a school resource officer is and what their duties are and are not in the buildings. They just wrapped up a special session tonight and spoke privately with the police chief down there. Though the purpose of SROs has been a conversation many districts have had since the Texas elementary school shooting. A number of school districts across the state have added or are planning to add armed security personnel to their schools with the goal of stopping a potential shooter. Lyme, Old Lyme, Killingly, East Hampton, New Milford, and Madison school districts have all decided to add new armed personnel. Now, some of these districts have already had these established positions and are looking to add more. East Hampton High had an armed guard since 2019. A parent and teacher survey showed a majority in that district favoring adding more. The Board of Education recently approved adding an armed guard to the elementary and middle schools and are seeking $150,000 from the town for these 3 positions. Superintendent Paul Smith said in a statement to Fox 61, quote, "I see the additional armed security officers as a deterrent to those who may think our schools are soft targets. We have a broad range of security features throughout our schools, and an armed security officer is one more layer of safety for our students." Now, Lyme, Old Lyme, and Killingly approved adding armed guards this summer. Now, the Killingly superintendent says they're seeking 1 for each of their 5 schools and are still finalizing policies and procedures before they hire. Superintendent Robert Angeli tells me that the purpose is to enhance safety for staff and students and cut down on response time. Now, Hamden police officers have been assigned to both the middle school and the high school, but they don't have any at the 9 elementary schools. The Board of Education wants to clearly define what the job of an SRO is and how they fit into the schools while not disproportionately impacting students of color. Now, they are planning to schedule a forum in the future to discuss what these not released documents contain. Now, we'll follow this as the board releases these documents and schedule those sessions in the future. We'll have more on the news at 11. In the newsroom, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Caught on camera tonight, we're getting a look at dash cam video from when a teen in a stolen car hit a police cruiser in Naugatuck. Naugatuck police released this video of Tuesday's crash. Officer Haley Zarzuela was responding to the location of a stolen Audi when her cruiser was rammed by the car. The driver, who we now know is 15, sped away before ditching the car. He was quickly arrested near the YMCA.
This juvenile is familiar to Naugatuck Police as well as other agencies, and we believe is involved in other vehicle thefts.
In this case, it worked out, but the laws need to be modified to give the police a little more power to resolve these issues.
The teen faces several charges and was held overnight in a Bridgeport jail. Officer Zarzuela injured her arm and leg, but she's since been released from the hospital.
Well, we have